President focuses on increasing the taxes on tobacco.
Public Service Commission suspends the services of Anusha Palpita and RAAK Ranavaka.
Doctors token strike inconveniences patients. Doctors also warn of a possible trade union action.
Court suspends the contracts given to political associates in the North Central Province.
Hello there, very good evening and welcome to your Primetime News Bulletin. I'm Shane Silva.
And I'm Aishwarya Pinto. Let's take a look at the stories. President Maithripala Sirisena says the attention of the cabinet will be drawn towards increasing the taxes on tobacco products. The president made this statement in response to a statement made by an expert who cited that the prices of cigarettes have not increased in comparison to the per capita income.
World No Tobacco Day 2016 was marked at the BMICH today under the auspices of President Maithripala Sirisena.
The purchasing power of tobacco or the consumer purchasing power has risen. However, it has not increased in comparison to the per capita income. The value-added tax or VAT was increased. It has caused a lot of problems to many. Even the president has spoken about this. The question we need to raise is that why have they reduced the tax percentage that can be obtained from cigarettes at a time when VAT is increased? Around 25,000 persons die annually in the country due to tobacco. 2,500 are children who die due to passive smoking. We recommend to impose a tax of 90%. Then what he said was true. We won't need VAT and it will also not affect the poor community. Liquor and tobacco are the main reasons for poverty and the downfall of the health condition of the poor. It's a national disaster to spend 35% of the low-income people earn on tobacco. The question raised by Demel was the reason why this went a long way. That question on one hand made us accountable for this. I'd like to clearly state that I will address this event and directly go to the cabinet meeting. At the cabinet meeting, I will propose the need to act with regard to this issue today.
Awards were presented to winners of the competitions that were organized island-wide among students in line with the World No Tobacco Day. The first flag of the program to sell anti-tobacco flags carried out in parallel to the World No Tobacco Day was pinned on the President today at the Presidential Secretariat.
The Public Service Commission today suspended the services of Anusha Palpita and RAAK Ranavaka who were attached to the Public Administration Service. Secretary of the Commission, Gamini Seniratna, said the decision was made by the Commission this evening.
The appointment of Anusha Palpita to Additional Secretary of the Ministry of Home Affairs and RAAK Ranavaka as Additional Secretary to the Ministry of Education came under much criticism during the recent days. This was because the duo were given the appointments at a time when investigations are taking place against them over the fraud and corruption said to have taken place under the previous administration. On Friday, the Public Service Commission announced that it had received copies of the letter indicating that indictments have been filed against them. This evening, the Commission reached a decision to suspend their services. It is clear the manner in which action should be taken when a court process is being carried out over a wrong in the Establishment Code. The Commission today decided to suspend work of Anusha Palpita. Meanwhile, we were notified this afternoon by the relevant parties, the malpractices and fraud committed by Ranavaka. Taking into consideration all the facts presented to us, the Commission decided to suspend work of Ranavaka.
එම මහතාගේ වැඩ තහනම් කරන්නට රාජ්‍ය සේවා කොමිසම සභාව තීන්දුව කරා.
I discussed with Minister Vajra Abewardena and he said that due to a vacuum of officers in the ministry, persons attached to the public service were deployed. Anusha Palpita was appointed as an additional secretary. However, he only served for 3 days. Today, Cafe exposed an attempt made by RAAK Ranawaka to commit a malpractice whilst holding positions under the previous administration. A sum amounting to 15 billion rupees had been allocated per public representative over the project Isrumat Nivahanak. It is very clear as to how the transparency of these projects have been tarnished and how malpractices of a group of state officials have been covered by another group of state officials. Do not look at where the ants are heading, but look at where the elephants are heading. If those who gave the orders roam free, then it is wrong for those who carried out the orders to be punished. Cases are still being taken up. There are routine visits to the FCID.
The Police Financial Crimes Investigation Division, or the FCID, recorded statements from several persons today.
Chairman of Avantgarde Nisanka Senadipati arrived at the FCID to provide a statement over providing a sum of 22 million rupees to a company of Namal Rajapaksa, the son of the former president. National Freedom Front parliamentarian Jayanta Samaravira was also present at the police FCID today. A statement was recorded from him over the misuse of a state vehicle and operations that took place when he was the chairman of the National Housing Development Authority.
Court ordered officials of the North Central Provincial Council to suspend all contracts that were to be awarded to political favourites in complete violation of all government procedure. The order was made today by the Civil Appeals High Court after considering a petition that was filed against a group including the Chief Minister of the North Central Province and the Chief Secretary of the Provincial Council.
The petition filed by the chairman of the North Central branch of the National Construction Association and several others alleging that the respondents were in process of awarding contracts worth Rs 50 million to political favourites. The petition states that even though excessive amounts are charged as annual registration fees for such contracts, these contracts are awarded without any transparency. The Chief Minister of the Provincial Council was present in court today along with legal representation consequent to notice being issued for him to attend court. Having considered the submissions made by legal counsel, Civil Appeals High Court Judge Aditya Kanta Madhuma Padabadige ordered the respondents to appear again before court on the 14th of next month.
What we are requesting is that henceforth all public contracts be awarded via open tender process so that the benefit thereof can be enjoyed by the citizens of the North Central Province. We have requested court to issue a writ of certiorari to question the basis on which contracts to prepare 11 reservoirs in North Central Province in violation of established tender processes. To be honest, the action against us was notified to us in writing only last evening. We did not have sufficient time to draft responses or consult the Attorney General's Department. Within the next 2 weeks, we hope to collate and submit to court all documentation to establish the fact that these public contracts were awarded as per the government tender process and regulations.
President of Sri Lanka Cricket, Tilanga Sumathipala, speaking at a media conference in Colombo this evening, expressed the following views.
Take a look at Sirasa. It is also like the Sunday leader. Who is he trying to deceive? Kili Maharaja was the vice president of this organization. We respect him. We respect their institutions. It is a media institution that stood up at the correct junctures in the country. What are they doing with Cricket Aid? They collect the gossips and the lies and are harming the reputation of the Board of Control. I am saddened that the Citizen Media is handling such a contract. I never knew that the Citizen Media undertook contracts in this manner. Please refrain from this. I will complain this to Mr. Kili Maharaja to not cause such injustice. What was also said in that was all lies.
කිලිරාජ මහත්මයාත් පැමිණිලි කරලා එතුමාට දැනුවත් කරනවා මේ වගේ අසාධාරණකම් කරන්න එපා කියලා අනිත් එක මේ බොරුනේ කියලා තියෙනවා. මූලිකම ගැටලුව තියෙන්නේ පරිපාලනය.
The main issue in cricket is its administration. So without improving the administration first, you can never improve the sport of cricket. The reason behind this is because there is no proper mechanism, no program to select the suitable people for Sri Lanka cricket. All of these issues lie within the administration. Looking at the problem directly is disadvantageous. So what they constantly do is they prevent the public from looking at the issue directly. So they bring up various other topics and discussions which are irrelevant to cover up the actual problem. They cannot admit that the administration is weak, can they? If they do, they will have to step down. So to avoid this, they cling on to something else at the spur of the moment. So when they draw the public's attention towards that, their administration issues can be covered up for a considerable amount of time. But come the next tour, all of this will come out once again. This is the truth.
Sports First on a number of occasions had invited Thilanga Sumathipala to attend a program which would enable him to express his views. However, citing various reasons, Sumathipala did not participate in the program.
Those were the words of a mother who described her woes through poetry after visiting a government hospital today.
Many more such patients were left helpless today because of a token strike which was launched by doctors this morning.
The Government Medical Officers Association, or the GMOA, commenced a 4-hour strike action until noon today, citing that irregularities have taken place with regard to post-internship appointments. According to the GMOA, over 10,000 doctors from 1,571 hospitals island-wide had pledged their support for the token strike. The token strike, however, did not take place in flood-affected areas such as the Colombo, Gampaha and Kegol districts. Thereby, medical services at the National Hospital were carried out undisrupted. Only the emergency treatment unit and the intensive care units of the Kandy General Hospital were in operation during the token strike. Patients who had arrived to clinics were forced to make appointments for a different date. They told us come next week.
I have to go home and come back next week. Innocent people are the ones affected. With the various decisions made, the general public are the ones affected.
Several doctors attached to the GMOA and are serving at the Karapiti Teaching Hospital in Galle took part in the token strike. Patients were severely inconvenienced as only the emergency treatment unit at the hospital was in operation. The token strike was also in effect at the Anuradhapura General Hospital. This woman had arrived at the hospital at dawn this morning after travelling for hours from the Talab area. We came to get medicine. My child was taken to 2 private clinics and they said that they cannot treat him. They said that since it is a head-related illness, he must be taken to a hospital and must be either admitted or taken to the OPD. So if the OPD does not have medicine, what treatment do I give my child? They just die, don't they? This woman, who suffers from kidney disease, arrived at the clinic of the Chilao General Hospital early this morning after travelling for nearly 45 kilometers. This is since I left home at 4 in the morning. I couldn't obtain my medicine. If it gets more late, I will not have a bus to travel home. Patients from Putlam, Kalpitiya, Toppua as well as Bingiriya in the Kurunagala district had arrived to the Chilao General Hospital, which is the main hospital in the Putlam district. The emergency treatment unit at the Dikkoye Base Hospital in Hatton was the only service in operation this morning. Patients who arrived to the clinic and outdoor treatment at the Mathura General Hospital were turned back. Finally, the people don't have medicine. We are greatly inconvenienced by the strike.
Apart from the 3 districts that we mentioned, the strike action was successfully in effect in all other districts. We regret about the fact that patients were inconvenienced by this, but we had no choice. The Central Working Committee will convene on Thursday. Most probably we will launch a continuous strike action next week. There is also a possibility of a 1-day strike being launched within the course of this week. We are working with a subject minister who does not work via discussion, consensus and who is unsuitable for a good governance government. We cannot prevent this from turning into a chaos until the husband and wife factor is wiped out. Until this list of appointments is suspended and until this nepotism, which is in effect, is ended, the Government Medical Officers Association will wholeheartedly carry on its battle to put an end to this program of handing over the country's medical sector to NGOs.
Issuing a communique, the Ministry of Health said that the strike action will affect only functions of the outdoor patients departments and clinical services. The ministry says that trade union action did not take effect in the Colombo, Gampaha and Kekol districts as well as the Mahamudra Teaching Hospital. The communique states that most registered and assistant medical peripheral hospitals in the country functioned as usual. The Ministry of Health further notes that consultant and intern doctors provided treatment for in-house patients at all hospitals in the country as usual.
Parliamentarian Chatura Sena convened a media briefing today.
A-level කරලා නැති O-level වත් හරියට result එක නැති කාණු කටේ රනිල් වික්‍රමසිංහ.
An individual who did not pass the ordinary level or advanced level met with Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe and pleaded to be given the nomination. However, Ranil Wickremesinghe did not give him the nomination. As he was denied the nomination, he is trying to defeat this government. In 10 years' time, the people will understand of the GMOA and the doctors will chase them away. That day is not far away. There are 4 cases against this person at the Kaludara court. We informed the Minister of Justice and the others that the legal process has stalled. How? Has a deal been reached? Implement the law. If not, we will step onto the streets. I challenge to show if they can any medication in the Ministry of Health with the name of Chatura Sena. We will meet them in court if not.
චතුර සේනාරත්නගේ නම ගහලා තියෙනවා නම් අන්න පුළුවන් නම් අභියෝගේ බාර ගන්න නැත්තම් ඔය පාවා දෙනියලා ඔය සොයිසලා හැම මිනිහවම උසාවියේදී හම්බු වෙනවා කියලා මම අභියෝග කරනවා.
Minister of Provincial Councils and Local Government Faiza Mustafa says that a special program is afoot to remove the garbage from areas affected by floods.
On Saturday, Newsfirst visited the banks of the Kalani River and highlighted the issues faced by those living in the area due to the mounting garbage. Areas of Kotikawatha, Vallampiti and Brandiawatha, including main roads and by-roads, were filled with garbage and waste. When Newsfirst took the initiative to inform the authorities regarding the issue, Minister Faiza Mustafa elaborated on the garbage disposal program.
We will implement a broad-based program in the next 45 days. We must accept that the garbage cannot be removed from a day or two. However, there are some whose houses have been severely affected by this, and we understand the need of these people to remove the waste. As a government that understands the pulse of the people, we will reach a long-lasting solution. The garbage mountain will not be removed anytime soon. We need to find a way to face the challenge of the people even in the short term.
Under the leadership of the chairman of the Mulleriyava Kotikawatha Pradesh Sabha, Prasanna Solangarachi, chairman of the Kolanava Pradesh Sabha, Ravindra Udeshanta, and several other officials, a considerable portion of the garbage was removed during the past few days. The affected public appreciated the effort made by the relevant authorities.
In the meantime, the Cabinet has allocated a sum of 18 million rupees today for the removal of garbage in flood-affected areas. Addressing a media briefing at the Sri Lanka Freedom Party headquarters, the Minister of Disaster Management elaborated on the decision.
There's a weakness in the process of removing garbage, so through a cabinet paper we allocated a sum of 18 million rupees for this purpose. The cabinet also granted approval for another cabinet paper tabled by me. This is for the provision of a sum of 141 million rupees for the development or cleaning up of canals in the lowlands of the Kalani River basin in the Kolonava area. We will provide insurance claims to those whose houses were destroyed in the floods. We are also working on providing these persons with temporary camps or some kind of shelter until their homes are reconstructed. A special plan must be drawn up in coordination with the Megapolis project. As part of this plan, we came to an agreement with an Italian company attached to the Italian government in May to construct 10 river basins for the drought and flood management at a cost of $13 million.
Intermittent showers caused flooding in several areas today.
The swelling of the Nilvala River inundated many lowlands including Akurasa, Paradua and Siamblagoda. Our correspondent stated that the vehicular movement of the Siambalagoda-Panadugama road was hampered due to floods. The water level of the Ginganga has risen to 4 feet. Both the sides of the river was inundated, and our correspondent reported that certain areas of the Udugama-Badegama road was inundated. Flood waters of Malvan and Domp areas have still not receded. A machine cleaned the canals temporarily, but because of the flood water, the tree trunks have got stuck in these canals. If this is cleaned up, water will drain. We cannot get into the water. Our legs are already infected because of the water. The small canals are blocked. The entire Rambutan plantation is damaged. Meanwhile, one of the 3 sluice gates of the Malvana southern bank has broken off. Locals in the area said that the area gets inundated when the water level of the Kalni River rises. 2 individuals were admitted to the Dikkoya district hospital following shock due to lightning strike in an estate in Maskelia. Electric appliances of 20 houses were damaged following a lightning strike in the Forest Creek estate in Kotagala.
A media briefing took place today to elaborate on President Sirisena's visit to Japan and the progress achieved.
President Maithripala Sirisena was among the world leaders invited for the G7 Outreach Summit 2016 held in Japan. During bilateral discussions, President Sirisena and Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe had discussed and agreed to provide aid to Sri Lanka in 5 phases. They showed us how the $1.2 billion Japanese bond issue would help Sri Lanka. We asked them if they would like to invest in the eastern terminal in the southern port. Japan has agreed to support the increase of Sri Lankan manufactured vessels in Trincomalee. At the same time, the President requested for Japanese technology assistance to move to engines that would not use fossil fuel. The Japanese Prime Minister was pleased to assist us in this and called us to further study the matter and inform them. 44 billion yen had been allocated for the development of Sri Lanka. We request for assistance to slope the rupee and the yen between the central banks of Japan and Sri Lanka.
Our ratings are extremely high, and this shows that all the world leaders are now ready to do business in Sri Lanka. We also had some bilateral discussions with the leaders of Indonesia, Vietnam, Bangladesh, and we had bilateral discussions with the Prime Minister and the Japanese government.
We witnessed the manner in which world leaders approach our president and greet him. Every state leader noted that they are confident in the process of establishing democracy, good governance and coexistence among all communities. The foreign policy of 2013 and 2014 were a failure. Under the government of President Maithripala Sirisena, the foreign policy has reached a better position. We saw the manner in which world leaders also greeted the president. Until the infrastructure facilities are developed, and in order to discourage this, we created a new way of earning income. Undervalue was taking place. This kind of undervaluing is currently now non-existent. Ask everyone here whether they would wait until November if a new car came into the market undervalued. We will then give you the file and you all can act accordingly.
Today, Minister Sajith Premadasa intervened to present a house to the parents of a child who has been battling an illness following an accident.
Sasanka Jagat Alvis, a student of Royal College Colombo, met with an accident during a scout camp back in 2013. The house of the family of this child, who is currently undergoing treatment located in Kopati, was removed by the Road Development Authority. A house worth 3.5 million rupees from Demataguda was presented to the family at Temple Trees today, following a request made by the child's mother to the Minister of Housing and Construction.
Sajith Premadasa Amaituma.
It is Minister Sajith who looks into these things. I can say that it is something he had learned from his father. Even late President Premadasa helped the ones in need. We also help the people in need. I'd like to say that the new housing project is implemented as a help to the public, especially in the Colombo area. I'd also like to say that we will commit ourselves to build more houses in rural areas. The past eras where the leaders, ministers and MPs distributed houses to their own family members. But in the good governance government, under the guidance and leadership of Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe, we are committed to go in search of families that are helpless, and we will take initiatives and help them.
This happened within 2 months. We are happy that we got a house.
The 16th conference of the Science Council of Asia titled Science for the People, Mobilizing Modern Technologies for Sustainable Development in Asia was held today.
Associated with the Science Council of Asia.
Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe was the chief guest of the event.
Development requires technology and innovation. Today's development depends on technology and innovation. So how do we first be the hub? How do we develop the science and technology in Sri Lanka? To begin with, we haven't got sufficient number of science teachers in the schools. So with the Minister of Education, we thought we'll go ahead and train a large number of science teachers. This also means now we have to build up the academic staff for the universities. Then you have to build up the research institutions. There are institutions we can build on. We have our postgraduate institutes. Do we expand that? Do we build on our universities, the knowledge? How do we interact? How do we develop science and technology for the next 10 years? That's what the minister will work out with these countries and with others. We are also exploring the possibility of having one or two of the top American universities in engineering and technology coming to Sri Lanka. And there are certain areas which we can also work, I feel, with the United Kingdom and with Germany.
Witty Weekender, Sri Lanka's first global entertainment magazine, has now hit the Sri Lankan market and is set to release its 21st edition.
Witty Weekender, which depicts the tagline "Read less, know more and laugh lots," is a tabloid edition to entertain fun lovers world over. The magazine focuses on present-day problems faced on a daily basis, both locally and internationally, in a witty way. The magazine delivers rib-tickling cartoons and commentaries covering aspects of life. The creator and publisher Sara Seniratne is the first and only Sri Lankan to win Amnesty International Human Rights Awards in 1996, 1997 and 1998. He is also a veteran international media consultant and an advisor to many international media organizations.
You know, there's a saying, picture speaks louder than words. And also being a political caricaturist right throughout my life. And this is my brainchild that I wanted to sort of show it to the whole world. With a lot of political satire is there, and you know, everybody wants to laugh around, and don't you know, at the end of the week, what you get is the gruesome stories in other papers. And also to get rid of that misery, so I have created this Witty Weekender for them to enjoy at the end of the week. So basically not only for Sri Lankans, but Sri Lankans who are living abroad, as well as for foreigners. There are about 4,000 over subscribers in Sri Lanka alone. Well, we have reached up to now 100 over countries. There's a very good kind of response from politicians around the world, including former President Bill Clinton as well as Hillary Clinton.
The Asian and Oceanian Optimist Championship saw Singapore clinch some of the major prizes today. The championship is sponsored by Sports First. Newsfirst Charlene Benedict reports.
As you can see behind me, the participants of this event are all set for the second race for the day. They're all lined up. There are boats, and the officials of this race, the official organizers of this championships, made a note to us that the weather conditions here today are perfect for sailing. Now, Newsfirst are the official media sponsors for this event, and thus we will be bringing you exclusive footage here from Trincomalee off the coast of Upper
The championships, which sees competitors under the age of 15 from 13 different countries, will conclude on Saturday. Sri Lanka is represented by 5 competitors. The team competitions will commence tomorrow.
And that's a wrap of your primetime news. I'm Aishwarya Pinto.
And I'm Shane Silva. Take care and good night.
Thank you.